Joining us now to continue this discussion in luxury retail particularly is Robert Burke, Chairman, CEO, and founder of Robert Burke Associates. Burke is the former Senior Vice President of Fashion at luxury retailer Bergdorf Goodman. Robert, great to have you here with us. Let's talk about luxury retailers. Is there one common theme amongst this entire group that you'd qualify as being the most challenging thing going into 2012?
Well, I think that in going into 2012, obviously the mid-market has really been tough, as we just spoke about. But at the luxury, the consumer is spending when there are goods that are really tantalizing, and exclusivity is important for the retailer today, and limited quantity. So those are the things, we see shoes doing well, we see boots doing well right now, luxury handbags. The luxury consumer at the very high level is not price resistant, but they're pickier than they've ever been.
So let's talk about the aspirational consumer, right? I spoke to Karen Katz in 2008. She was saying that aspirational consumer may not be there at the moment, but is definitely coming back. Are you seeing her come back?
We are seeing her come back. What we're seeing is the very high level, not the aspirational. That's the strongest shopper right now. But the aspirational customer is coming back. They're more selective. And you see brands, like a Jimmy Choo, they're doing particularly well because there's a customer that'll save up and would rather not buy 3 pairs of shoes and have 1 pair of Jimmy Choo.
And the aspirational, for those of us who are not fluent in the retail vernacular, is how would you describe the aspirational customer?
Well, the aspirational customer wants to be buying all designer, high-ticket items, but they don't necessarily. They pick and choose. They're aspiring to buy luxury.
And these were, I guess, customers prior to the recession that were also sort of thinking that their future was much brighter, perhaps, right?
Yes.
And is this a key group for many of these luxury retailers?
Well, it's certainly an important group, and they consider it the aspirational customer, the contemporary customer. They were the hardest hit after 2008, and they've been the most leery and the most difficult to get back. But they still are now creeping back, just being a little more cautious and extremely selective.
Now, you were talking about Jimmy Choo just a second ago. Now,
Sure.
I heard that Christian Louboutin is opening up a menswear store.
Yeah.
What percentage of menswear represents the luxury market?
Well, that's a great question, because what's happened is we've seen the men's consumer come back stronger since 2008, which is very unusual. Always in the past, they were the most sensitive to moves in the market.
Right. Isn't Coach opening up these menswear stores?
So you're seeing more and more men's. Still, at the end of the day, the men's business is much less. It's not nearly as big of a business as women's, but it's been a more robust business.
Where globally are retailers really targeting their efforts right now?
Well, that's such an interesting question, because with the trouble in the U.S. economy over the last few years, the retailers have been very attuned to tourists. And we've seen, particularly Brazil, there was a report that came out, they spent $1.6 billion last year, and we anticipate that they're going to be spending far more. I was on a flight from New York to Sao Paulo checking in, and I think the only thing I didn't see Brazilians checking on were cars. They had everything else lined up. China, the Chinese tourist has become particularly important, and the U.S. retailers are catering to those tourists today, unlike ever before.
Certainly the weakness in the dollar, despite notwithstanding some of the strength recently, has helped a lot of those tourists. Online sales very quickly. How is that impacting luxury sales?
Well, what? They've been incredibly strong. We expect that luxury sales will be about 15% up over last year. So the customers are becoming more and more comfortable in buying luxury goods online. Free shipping has been a real focus for all groups, whether it be Neiman's, Bergdorf, Saks, and that's worked in favor of the internet. So I think you're going to see more and more internet sales at the luxury level grow.
All right, Hitha, thank you very much. Robert Burke, appreciate the insight here on In the Loop. That was Robert Burke, Chairman and founder of Robert Burke Associates.